something different here. This is not a DC TV review. This is some DC TV news. A lot's been going on this whole entire week, and I wasn't gonna comment on it, but then after a while, like I was talking to some people about it, and then I just figured, what the hell? So as we all know, the first set of news that came out was, well, the most important. I don't know which one came out first, but the most important is that HBO Max, which drops next Wednesday on my birthday, it is going to showcase the Snyder version of Justice League the movie. We all know the story, how Batman versus Superman came out. Zack Snyder did Batman versus Superman, and then a lot of fans, because they're drinking the Marvel Kool-Aid, basically, they got upset, and they felt that the movie was too dark, and it was too gloomy, and they were just like, oh, why can't it have bright colors, and why can't it have jokes and blah 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 like Disney does, So the Warner Brothers executives buckled under the pressure. They fired Zack Snyder, and then they brought in Josh Whedon. They brought in Marvel people to shoot Justice League after Zack Snyder had basically shot like 85% of the movie. They had Josh Whedon come in. He put bright colors into it and all this other Marvel crap. And there's a lot, there's a lot to, that's unpackaged there, because when Justice League first came out, when the trailer, the unofficial trailer first came out, there was a lot of footage in that trailer that we never saw in the theater. There was like footage of Cyborg wearing his football Letterman, members only jacket. There was footage of him saving a police car in the football, like in the field when Superman was going crazy. There was also like the ending scene where they were fighting the parademons in that foreign country. If you go back and look, the original footage of that was blue. It ended up being red when we finally got the final product, because they were trying to put some more color on it. But the original end fight scene versus the parademons, when Aquaman was surfing on the Batmobile, it was blue. Like the sky was blue, the sky was dark. So, and right then and there, even Steppenwolf, like there was the line where he's just like, no Kryptonians, no lanterns, this world will fall. So we knew going into it that a lot of footage got cut out on the table. The scene where Cyborg says to Batman, I never thought you were real. And then Batman's like, I'm real when it's useful. They cut, and Zack Snyder even said, he said that they cut three-quarters of his movie, of the stuff that he shot, didn't make, the actual, final cut. So basically, now, he's going to take all that footage, he's going to finish it, he got $20 million from Warner Brothers to finish the effects and everything. He's going to finish the movie that he wanted to make, the movie that he made, and they're gonna stream it on HBO Max, which is smart on HBO Max's part, because with the pandemic and the whole quarantine and everything, it's hard to come out with fresh new content. So this will be fresh new content that they can put out there, and it never should have came to that, because at the end of the day, let's just call a spade a spade. It's really the fans' fault why this whole thing happened, either, because the studio executives of Warner Brothers, they're to blame too, because they panicked under the Marvel pressure. But the fans, the fans basically complained about Zack Snyder's movie, they complained about Zack Snyder doing BVS. Then when Warner Brothers caved under the pressure and brought in a Marvel guy, now all of a sudden everybody wants the Snyder Cut. So it's just like, did you not want? It's like you didn't want them, but you want them. It's like, you got to make up your mind, and and DC needs to stop listening to everybody. Like, they need to stop, just make the movie that you want to make. And for lack of a better term, and I'm sorry to say this, but fuck the fans, because everybody's gonna have an opinion. People are gonna post their comments of what it should be, and the studio executives shouldn't read those comments and be like, oh my god, let's change course. Studios need to the studio needs to let these people make their movie. You let Patty Jenkins, and Jason Wong make Aquaman and Wonder Woman, and those movies did perfectly fine. Shazam did perfectly fine. So, there was no reason why any of this should have happened to begin with. We're gonna get the completed Snyder Cut, which should be about 4 hours, and he's may chop it up and make it into a series. And I'm very looking forward to it. More specifically, I'm looking forward to seeing all the Cyborg footage. I know there was a shitload of Aquaman footage that they cut out, especially Aquaman engaging, the guy who was in the Aquaman movie, the guy who was training him and teaching him how to use, like the pitchfork and like and all that stuff. Like he was actually supposed to have like a bigger role in Justice League, and they never showcased him. So like I said, a lot of the character development, for the other characters is something that I'm looking forward to seeing, because I know they got the short end of the stick, like at the in favor of all this, all this hoopla. I mean, I'm already an HBO Max subscriber, so for me it'll just be another day in the park. But that's it. Yeah, but that's it. Like I said, it's about time, and it's Warner Brothers' way of, I guess it's their way of apologizing and for saying like our bad, and this time, and because it's on the streaming service now, Zack Snyder can basically do what he wanted to do, and if the fans don't like it, then they just don't like it. But it. I mean, Justice League was okay. Like I didn't hate it. I liked it. It reminded me of a Marvel movie. I thought Batman told way too many jokes. So, and I was all in on the whole darker. Like I said, I like BVS. Like I was in on the whole like darker thing. So I definitely looking forward to that. In other news, Ruby Rose quit being Batwoman after only one season that wasn't even a completed season, which means if they're like this is going to be a little bit messy, because if they're gonna because like there was supposed to be, I think, 22 episodes of Batwoman. They only ended up getting 20 because they had to cut production early. So, but I assume at some those last two episodes were at least in the middle of being shot, and they just have to like finish them. But if Ruby Rose already shot those scenes, is she gonna be in the first one or two episodes of season 2, and then we'll just move on to the new girl? Because if not, once they cast the new girl, whatever they shot for episodes 21, 22, they're gonna have to shoot that shit all over again. She hasn't officially come out and said why she quit being Batwoman, but people were talking about how like during the shooting of Batwoman, she did a couple of stunts, and she almost got hurt doing some stunts, and she wasn't really good with the physical aspect of it. But I said before, when the news first broke, the very first thing that came out of my mouth was was she probably quit being Batwoman for the same reason why every actor that does one of these DC shows, why they always quit. And the reason why they always quit these shows is because they don't like living in Canada. I mean, it's nothing against Canada, nothing against Vancouver, but Greg Berlanti shoots every single show he's ever created, aside from like Black Lightning, because they shoot Black Lightning in Atlanta, but all the other DC shows are shot in Canada. And when you're shooting in Canada and your series, and you're the lead of the series, and your series lasts for 22 episodes, you're in Canada basically from July all the way until you start shooting in July, and then you wrap up the shooting in March or April. So you're basically in Vancouver in Canada for like the entire year, which as an actor, if you care enough as an actor, it doesn't give you the reins to be able to take other jobs and do other things. Now, there is nothing wrong if you land a spot on a CW show and you're just like, you know what, to hell with Hollywood, to hell with the rest of I'm perfectly fine playing this character on this show. There's nothing wrong with that. But there are other actors who want to take other jobs, like Candice Patton, who does The Flash. Every single time she's not shooting something on The Flash, she immediately jumps on a plane and goes back to LA to do like a photo shoot or do like some Essence magazine. Even Nafisa Williams on Black Lightning, she's always doing like modeling shoots and things like that outside of Atlanta. But her show does have a shorter season. The actor who played Martin Stein on on Legends of Tomorrow, he was shooting Legends of Tomorrow, and he was also shooting Power at the same time, and and shooting God knows what. And Power is shot in New York, so he stayed in the Arrowverse maybe for like 3 years, and then he bounced. And then even the actor who plays Jax, like, he left too. The original Firestorm, like, he left. It's like a lot of them just need a break. Like, a lot of them, they want to do other roles, they want to take other roles. They don't want, and it's like, and again, and they just flat out just don't want to live in Canada for 10 months out of the year. And if that's her reason, like, I'm not mad at her for that. Like, I can't blame her for that, because if she wants to take movie roles, if she wants to do other things, like, she has the free rein to do that. I mean, she obviously took the job because she thought it would be a good idea. She thought that it would boost her career, which it kind of did. But the way superhero stuff works, the moment you get recast, people forget about you kind of quickly. And she only did one season, so like, she's not going to be that fresh in everyone's mind to the point where a new person won't replace her with the quickness. But like I said, but if her whole thing was, if she did it, she was like, hey, I'm shooting the show. I enjoy shooting the show, but between the schedule, the shooting hours, the stunts, like the training, the exercise, and then the fact that it's 22 episodes, so I don't have time to do other things, and I'm too far away from LA. She was just like, yeah, I don't want to do this shit no more. So that, so that was it. I have no idea who's gonna replace her, but like I said, to me, like the actress who replaced her doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? Like I just like the show. Like I'm a huge fan of the show. Like I did reviews for every single episode for the season, and I'm just waiting for the show to continue. So whoever, they still got Mary, they still got Luke, and they still got the beautiful Sophie. So as long as you keep those three, as long as you keep that core group of three, you replace everybody else. Just what? Oh, and Alice too. Like I love Alice. So as long as you keep those people, I'm like everybody else is just like whatever. Like the bat suit's always been an interchangeable role anyway. So ain't nobody gonna miss that when when it happens. But good luck to Ruby Rose, and we'll like I said, we'll see who the new who the new actress is, and hopefully season 2 will be just as good as season 1. And the last news that this news is pretty old, but well, not too old, but Swamp Thing has been picked up by the CW. It was announced that when Swamp Thing first debuted on DC Universe, the day that it got released, the first day that it came out was also the day that the series got canceled. The series got canceled due to financial issues with Louisiana, where they weren't getting the tax breaks that they were promised, and I guess they couldn't afford the production anymore, so they had to leave. My whole thing was, if Louisiana was messing up like that, it's not like Louisiana is the only swamp that exists on the planet. They could have shot that shit anywhere else, but they didn't have to scrap the whole thing. But I said DC cut ties with it, but then the CW picked it up. And what's going to happen now is this fall, especially because none of the DC superhero shows are going to be ready for October. Like none of the shows are going to come out until January, like January 2021. That's when all the shows are going to resume. We don't know if all the shows are going to get shorter seasons because of that or not. But with that being said, CW's whole thing is, wow, when fall comes, we're not going to have anything to put on. And, that's a problem, for their fall lineup. So they picked up Swamp Thing, and when the fall comes, they're going to air all 10 episodes of Swamp Thing on the CW when it comes out. And hopefully, if it does well, if people watch it, they're obviously going to have to edit it because there's a lot of cursing. There's a lot of cursing and a lot of gore, a lot of killing in Swamp Thing. So hopefully, but people watch it. Hopefully people will watch it. They'll get into it. They'll enjoy it. And if the CW, and if it has good numbers, then the CW will hopefully just be like, you know what? Let's keep it around, and then we'll get a season 2. Will it be a PG-13 season 2? Yes. But at this point, a season 2 is better than nothing, so I'll definitely take it. And I enjoyed Swamp Thing. I wasn't doing reviews when I started doing reviews like when Titan season 2 started. So yes, but I'm looking forward to it. And I said, so we'll see what happens. We'll see what the fans have to say about Swamp Thing on the CW. Like I said, and hopefully it'll get picked up because I enjoyed it. So that was it. That was my DC TV news. My opinions on the DC news that's happened. Like I said, looking forward to HBO Max when it drops. And when shows start popping up on there, when things start coming up, we'll definitely review that as well. So thank you for tuning in. Leave me your comments and your thoughts on the Snyder Cut, on Ruby Rose, on Swamp Thing, or anything DC related that you want to talk about. And I'll see you guys next week when I do my reviews for Stargirl Legends of Tomorrow. Until then, stay tight, keep it tight, and I'm out this bitch!